So like I was just saying, a system of inequalities means you're going to have two graphs. So instead of just one, like we were doing last time, this time you're going to have two. The solution is the overlap. Do you remember how we shaded in above or below, like greater than was above and less than was below? Is this like making sense? We remember that sort of, okay. So you're gonna have two graphs at once. And so you're like, your solution is where they overlap. Now, my suggestion is to do them one at a time. So let's do this first one. I'm gonna share my screen and open up Desmos and type in that first one, x greater than, and if you're like, that's it, Miss Cole, we're just going to type it in the calculator. Yes, like you need to be friends with your calculator. Plus 8. Okay. Now it tells you, it will literally do the problem for you. Like, you cannot miss these on your test. Like, it will literally do the problem for you. Now you need at least 2 points on here that are nice whole numbers. I usually go for the intercepts. If those don't work out, you can try and find any other numbers on the line. But do you see any like nice whole numbers that we can plot on our paper here? You get 0, -4, and then 8, 0. Do you guys see those? Okay, so let's go ahead and plot those. We had 0, -4. We had 8, 0. So what would that make your slope? Up 1 over 2, up 1 right 2. Do you connect those? Yeah, so put a few more points in there. It would be up 1 right 2. Like allow your slope instinct to kick in. So you can like fill in a couple more points there. And then what kind of a line was it? Here, I'll go back to the graph. It was dotted and we shaded down. Okay, so it's dotted and we shaded this part. Now here's where the colors come in. What colors do you want me to use to show you everything? Green and purple. All right, so we'll do green for this one. So you're going to take your first color and shade in below. Yeah, you know, the colors don't show up on here. That just looks gray. It is green, promise. When I take a picture of it and post it on Schoology, it'll show up green. I couldn't tell it. Now, here's my advice to you, and I'm not going to give you bad advice because the tests are a lot easier for me to grade if all the answers are right, okay? Don't put both graphs into Desmos at the same time because it's going to look complicated. It's going to be like too much information going on. So when you go to do the next one, delete the first one. Like I understand on our paper, we're going to have 2 at once, but like delete this out of here. That's my 2 cents. You know, obviously it's up to you, but I think it's easier to see when you only have one thing going on at a time. All right, this one was less than or equal to, so I'm gonna get my little keyboard, 1. So we need to find like at least 2 points that are nice whole numbers here. And sometimes you need to mess with the zoom until you can get it right. Like, you know, I usually like when it counts by 1. Right now it's counting by 2. It's hard without a mouse. Ah, there we go. Okay. So do you see any numbers, like any points that are on a nice whole number so I don't have to plot a fraction?
1.
Yep, 0, 1, and then see this one's in the middle, so I don't want that. So here's the next point, 1, -1. Do you see that there? Okay, so 0, 1, and 1, -1. Go ahead and put those on your paper. So 0, 1, 1, -1. That means your slope is -2. So like allow your slope instinct to kick in and just put in a few more points. They might not intersect at a nice whole number, and that's okay for these problems. They actually don't need to. I think this one does intersect like at a nice number, but if they don't, it's fine. And when you do this on your test, you have to make it like neat enough for me to be able to read what's going on. So like plot me a few points, okay? And then was it solid or dotted? It was solid, and we shaded like, yeah, like the underneath, it's the underneath side, but like sort of to the left there. So you're going to make it be a solid line. And then here's where your other color comes in. You're going to shade this side of it.
What are we doing about it?
I'm going to talk about that real quick. Hold on. Now the answer to the whole question, like overall to the whole thing, is the overlap. So maybe take like your regular pencil and just sort of bold. Do you see how this part is where they both are? So this is your answer. So just make that like extra bold, like this slice right here. So then we'll talk about points that are part of the answer and points that are not part of the answer. So can anyone give me a number that's part of the answer? Like anything down here will work. 0, -10, good.
-10, 1.
-10, 1 would be up.
1, -10.
1, -10, good, would be down here. Now, let's talk about ones that are on the line. Now, I don't have another arm, so this is going to be kind of hard for me to do. Points on this line. Do you see how this one's solid? These ones will count. Points on this line, the dotted one, will not count. And the intersection will not count. Unless both the lines are solid. Does that make sense? If they're both solid, then that intersection point will count. But otherwise, it's just these points in here, this part of this solid line, and then not any part of the dotted line, right? Over here, we're just matching with which section this would be A, B, C, and D. First, we have to decide which line is which. So we're going to use our slope and y-intercept. Let's do this line first. Try to just look at this line. So I'm going to sort of like label it over here. All right, this would be y equals, and I'm just going to put an equal sign for it for the line. What is its slope? I'm looking at this one here. It goes up how much and over how much? Go ahead. Up 1/3. So 1/3 x. And again, try to just look at that one. Where's the y-intercept? -1. So 1/3 x minus 1. So that's this one. Do you want to tell me the other one? Oh, yeah. Can you wait till I'm done with this problem? Yeah. All right. So now this one, try to just look at this line. It would be y equals, gosh, what is that slope? It'll be negative. It goes down. We're looking at this one. I know it's hard because there's 2 on there. It looks like down 7, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, down 7 over 2. All right, so -7 over 2x. And the y-intercept is 2, plus 2. All right, so now we know which one is which. These are all the same. And actually, you can see that they say those equations. All you have to do is get the symbols right. So look at greater than or equal to, that means what? Above. Okay, so if you're looking at the 1/3 x minus 1, it says greater than. What 2 sections does that narrow it down to? A and B. Now this one says what? Less than. So we want to be less than this line. That would be this way. So it would have to be either A or D. So which one is the overlap? A. Good. For this one, it says greater than. That would be above. And you kind of just have to watch me point to it. I don't have a better explanation than here it is. So we'd be above this line. And this one also says greater than. So we'd be above this line. So where's the overlap if you're above both of them? Be B. What do both of the symbols say for this one? Less than. That means, look, watch. That would be below this one. So either C or D. And it would be below this one. So which one is below both of them? Like here's below for the first one and here's below for the other one. Where's the overlap? Did you guys see that? I can't explain it better than look, there it is. There's not another explanation. Like there's not, like these both say less than. If you're less than this line here, I'll use the colors. If you're less than this line, that would be this. If you're less than this line, that would be this. Where's the overlap? Oh. D. See, now the problem is I drew all over my picture and I can't do it for the next one. That's why I was trying to avoid drawing all over it. But look, do you see how this first one says less than? If you're less than that line, what 2 sections does it narrow it down to? It's either C or D. And do you see how this one says greater than? Well, if you're greater than that line, it would have to be C. C is where the overlap is. That's why I was trying to avoid drawing all over the picture, because once I did that, then it wasn't going to work for the next one.
But what's the colors though? It's a lot more sense.
Yeah, but you get why I was trying to not do that, because once I did it for the first one, I can't erase all that.
Yeah.
Like, then I can't show you it for the next one.
Negative.
Yes. What's that?
Go up.
Greater than means you shade above the line. Less than or equal to means you shade below the line. It's just above or below. So if it says greater, you want above the line. So like when this says greater than or equal to this 1/3 x minus 1, that's this line. Greater than would be this side. Less than would be this side.
Above which one? This one?
Yeah, that's why I labeled them. So this one right here is the 1/3 x minus 1, and this steeper one is the -7/2 x plus 2. So that's why I labeled which one was which. So if you're looking at the 1/3 x minus 1 greater than, that would be this part. So it would be either A or B. And when it says less than the other one, less than would be this side. So it'd be either A or D. So A would be the overlap, but I can't draw it because I colored it in already.
That's where there are two different.
Colors, yes, where the colors overlap. And that's why I say use the colors for that. Okay, for this one, we're going to check the points, circle the ones that are part of the solution. So let's look at the graph first. Do you see this really dark bold part? Are you looking? I don't have a better explanation than look at it. You're going to have to look. This is the part where the answers are. All the points in there are solutions. Okay? Anything along this part of the solid line is also a solution, but along the dotted line and the intersection is not, because that's dotted. If they were both solid, you could count the intersection, but these ones are not. Okay, so let's test them. -4, -3. That is this point right here where my pencil is pointing to. What do you think? It is no. Why not? It's on the dotted line. So no for that one. Dotted means it doesn't count. If it's solid, it counts. 4, 1. That's the intersection. No. If they were both solid, we could count it, but since one of them's dotted, it won't count. -4, -1. That would be right here. Again, you got to just look. Like, that's where the point is. What do you think? Yes, that's in the dark, solid, shaded part. All right, 3, 4. What do you think? No, it's not in that dark, solid part. 8, -2 is right here. Is it in this dark, solid, shaded part? No, so no. It has to be in this part where they both overlap. And then -4, 7.
Yeah.
-4, 7 is this one right here. Now it's on a solid line, so we can count that. All right, so we're gonna do one more together where we graph it. I'm gonna share my screen and go over to the calculator, and we're gonna do these one at a time. Watch me type this because I'm gonna have you guys do this in just a minute. 2x minus 4 less than 2. Oh, it's a vertical line. Do you see that? Where? Vertical line at 3. It's dotted, and you're gonna shade to the left. Okay, go ahead and put that on here. It's at 3. You're gonna dot it in. Take your first color and shade to the left. Use the colors because that's gonna help you. And don't shade like too dark with the first one because you want the really dark shaded part to be like where the overlap is. And then my suggestion is when you go to do the next one, delete the first one. I know you're gonna have 2 graphs on your paper, but do them one at a time on here because then you'll only have to look at one thing at a time. All right, what is that? 18. I think this one's a horizontal. Oh, look, a horizontal line. Where?
4.
At 4, and you're gonna shade above, and it's a solid line. So solid line at 4, and then take your other color and shade above. There's always, well, I shouldn't say there's always going to be an overlap. Actually, let's talk about that. If they don't overlap anywhere, then what's the answer? No solution. But most of them will have like an overlap.
Top left.
Good. This portion right here is where the overlap is. So maybe take like your regular pencil and just sort of bold that part in. And let's like state some points that are part of the answer. Like, can you give me a point that's part of the solution?
Or -3, 8.
-3, 8 would be good. 2, 7 would be good. How about anything along this solid line?
Yeah.
Yes.
-3, 4.
How about, yeah, -3, 4? That would be an answer. How about along this part of the dotted line? No. How about the intersection? No. How about points over here? No. You only want that part. Cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, because